Welcome to Finance Operations, from cost centers to revenue generators, brought to you by the Controllers Council. My name is Neil Brown, Executive Director of the Controllers Council, and before I introduce you to our expert speaker and sponsor, I have some brief housekeeping items. First, we'll get to Q&A at the end of the presentation, so please use your GoToWebinar control panel to ask questions at any time. We'll get to as many questions as possible in the hour. If we cannot get to your question, we'll follow up via email post-webcast. Next, you will receive a link to this webcast via email in the next 24 hours from the GoToWebinar platform, so no need for notes or screenshots. So with that, allow me to introduce our guest presenter, Bruce Zavon, Vice President of Sales, Gaviti. Bruce's first encounter with accounts receivable and corporate finance operations came as a small business owner in the United States. Prior to Gaviti, Bruce held lead sales roles with several companies, which brought technology solutions to improve processes in a variety of industries. Welcome, Bruce.
Thanks so much, Neil. Great to be back here.
Yes, this is our second time together. So
yeah, absolutely.
So before we get started, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our sponsor. Gaviti is accounts receivable enablement solutions, helping companies accelerate AR collections through workflow automation. So Bruce, I'll hand it over to you for your insight.
Thanks so much. Again, great to be back here at the Controllers Council, and appreciate the opportunity. So, you're probably looking at this title and saying finance operations team from cost center to revenue generators, and you're thinking that maybe we're out of our minds. Are we talking about bringing the bookkeepers from the back office and putting them out on the road selling? Absolutely not. That's not what we're talking about today. Today we're going to talk about how your back office team, your finance operation team, can, by being proactive, and some of it they're already doing, and we're going to do a little bit of look back and look forward to understand how the work that the finance operations team can do can positively affect the bottom line. And that's why we call them revenue generators. So let's talk about the past. And when I say the past, I'm saying it in both senses. Number one, in the past, you had an accounting department, right, which was really responsible for financial reporting and auditing. Okay, they just kept records, and they took the records and made reports, and those reports were for audits. And this is why, this is the way things were done in the past. And this is also looking back, right? This role, if you still were doing it, it's just historical reporting of what happened in the last month, in the last quarter, in the last year. Okay, now if we look to the next slide, we're talking about what is the future, right? The future, which is now, is FP&A, financial planning and analysis. Being able to actually look at the numbers in a different way, in a more proactive way, and be able to give actual accurate forecasts of what should be happening in the next month and in the next quarter, so that the company can actually plan and run their business in a more proactive manner. Because if you're always worried about what might happen, right, in the back end, in the finance, if you're always worried, well, we're last quarter we didn't get paid, so probably not going to get paid now, so whatever it is, you're not running your business in a proactive manner. And if once you have these numbers, and once you're using proper tools to do the forecasting, to do the projections, to do the planning, you're running your business looking forward. And that is not just the future of finance, it's the future of the business looking forward. Next slide. Okay, great. So let's talk about what is going on in a standard financial operations team. Got accounts receivable, got accounts payable. Accounts payable team is responsible for the basic paying the vendors and making sure the payroll is run as well. They're doing the basic operation of an accounts payable team. Accounts receivable team, again, running day-to-day activities, sending out the bills, sending out the invoices, and running processes to collect from the clients. Okay, that is the present, that's what's going on in many organizations right now. Next slide. So what does a financial leader do in this situation? What is a financial leader in 2022 doing, and where do financial leaders fall according to this rubric? So if you look to the right, you say, what is a non-strategic financial leader? Okay, a non-strategic financial leader is mitigating risks by not taking risks. Okay, both sides, we understand that financial operations teams are mitigating risks, but on one side, it's not taking risks. On the other side, it's taking some risks and opening up the mind to some different ideas. So if you look at the non-strategic idea, right, you're generating your default reports, right? What you need to show to the auditors at the end of the quarter, at the end of the year, those are the reports you're generating. You're reactive to ongoing business processes, meaning things basically, you basically look at the processes and you say to yourself, okay, well, that's the way it is. People don't pay their bills. So people will continue to not pay their bills. That's something we have to just deal with. We pay our bills late. That's just something we have to deal with. You stick with the existing tools and processes. You don't, you kind of just, you're using Excel, great tool, but you're just kind of sticking to the Excel, you're sticking to your calculations, and you're sticking to your standard report analysis operation, okay? So that team, that non-strategic team, that non-strategic leader and his or her team has operational value for sure, okay? Because they are providing the information, but there's no effect on the bottom line. The bottom line remains the same because they're just calculating numbers and reacting to existing situations and not actually becoming proactive to have an impact on that bottom line. So if you look to the left side, the strategic column, that person is enabling business decisions, okay? And they're enabling business decisions based on utilizing up-to-date 2022 tools that are on the market and available to positively impact the bottom line and to give the team the tools to actually like you put some thought into making decisions about how to run the business. Okay, so and please don't take it wrong when we say generate creative reports to enable tax returns. We're talking about reports that are going to give the company and the auditors and the C-suite the opportunity to make smart decisions about how to pay themselves better, how to impact their own bottom line, and how to impact the company's bottom line. You're talking about being proactive, right, with existing processes, optimizing those processes. Can we do this better? Can we run AP better? Can we run AR better? And looking for ways to do that are going to positively affect the bottom line and allow for proactive business decisions. And on the operations side, introducing those new tools and improving those processes. And that is what we call revenue generating activities. Bottom line, it's positively affecting the bottom line. So, you know, what you've got here is the idea of reducing expenses and increasing net profit, okay? Because if you take certain expenses, and we're going to dig into that right now, or even the threat of certain expenses, and you remove those, you increase your net profit. You just do. Next slide, please. So how are we doing it? We're talking about bringing the right technology to bear to improve the bottom line. So let's explain. First, let's talk about payroll, because I think payroll was probably one of the first, if not the first, areas of the finance operations to be positively affected by technology and to become a place where the company actually had to take action to protect the bottom line. And when I say protecting the bottom line is, as running payroll became more and more complex with deductions for this and that, each state, it's different laws, each state, it's different rules, different pay rates, benefits, etc. Companies were forced to move from running it on ledger sheets to Excel and quickly to an outsourced provider. This is when, at least for small businesses, companies like ADP and Paychex, among many, I'm sure, came into being because the companies just couldn't do it anymore and the exposure was way, way too high. Because if you miss a tax payment, you're being fined and you're paying interest. And if you don't pay your people properly, not only are they going to be upset, but you have legal exposure. So you need to do payroll right. And payroll, because of the complexity, became the first area of the finance operations to be positively affected by technology and outsourced providers. And that is protecting the company's bottom line. Because you could sell all you want to, but if you're not protecting that bottom line from these situations, and they can add up very, very fast. I was in the payroll industry and I'm very well aware. They can add up very fast. And when they do, your bottom line is in big, big trouble. Next slide, please. So let's talk about accounts payable. How do we do that in a better way? And why do we do that? So you want to make your AP operation as efficient as possible, because AP is no longer just about cutting checks to pay invoices. It's about protecting yourself from having payments redirected and the fraud involved there. It's about keeping tabs on your vendors, okay? And you want to be, number one, a good vendor, right? You want to be a good vendor, and you want your vendors to be good vendors. And you do that by running an efficient accounts payable operation. When you have your accounts payable operation in order, you can negotiate better because you know what you can do to get better terms from your vendors, because you know, looking forward with the operations tools that you've brought to bear on the business, what kind of cash you're going to have looking forward in the next month, in the next quarter, in the next year. And you can negotiate better using that information. Without that information, you don't have it, okay? And you can be a good payer. You want to be a good payer. You want your credit rating, okay, to be good. So you want to be a good payer. And if you're efficient and if you've got your payables system in order, excuse me, you're going to be a good payer and it's going to make you a better payer. And overall, at the end of the day, it's operational efficiency, okay? Because you don't want to be bogged down with all sorts of runaround when it comes to paying your bills. Okay, finding information, asking for more information. Who do I talk to? Where do I find it? Where is it now? You want to have all this in one place, and you want to have it run in an efficient manner. And by the way, it allows you to increase the number of vendors that you actually have. It's not on this list, but an accounts payable department can only manage a certain number of vendors without technology. If you have technology and you bring that to bear, you can bring more vendors into the system without fear that it's just going to increase, it's going to decrease efficiency. Next slide, please. So an efficient payables team equals a smaller team, equals a less costly team, equals less fraud and less late payment fines. Another thing that we didn't really touch on last time in the last slide, that if you're not paying on time, you stand to be causing late payments. Late payments reduce the bottom line. You don't want that because number one, it reduces the bottom line right away. Number two, those people will stop supplying you with whatever service or product they're supplying you with if you're not paying on a regular basis or you're paying late on a regular basis. Next slide, please. So how do we do this in accounts receivable? How do you generate revenue? How do you positively affect the bottom line in the accounts receivable department? You bring operational efficiency, which allows you to reduce teamwork effort, which allows you to get paid faster, which allows you to improve your customer's experience working with you. Next slide, please. So a more efficient collections team is gonna bring the cash in faster. Bottom line, you need that. Smaller team, you don't need as many collectors, and we all know what's going on in the market right now. It's tough to hire. It's tough to keep the butts in the seats. And if you have an efficient collections process and you have some technology there, you're going to have a smaller team and a less costly team and less delinquent customers, which is going to positively affect your bottom line. So better collections, they loosen up your credit controls and they enable more sales, okay? Because when you're on top of who's paying you and how they're paying you, you can start to say, okay, by having real numbers and real information on the actual behavior of those customers, you're able to look at that and say, okay, we can let these guys, we can do more business with them. They want to do more business, we can do that because they pay well. We know that they pay well. So you now can start doing more business with those people. And that also positively affects the bottom line. And that is being a strategic finance leader. That allows the company to open up more sales, more credit to their customers. Again, positively affecting the bottom line. Next slide. Okay. So now let's talk about the current financial situation and the changes that also basically beg to bring technology and bring this to bear on your finance operations team. Number one, high interest rates. Your days sales outstanding becomes more and more important because you don't want your customers treating you like a bank. You don't want them sitting on your money to earn interest rate in their bank account. You want that money in your bank account earning interest, okay? So every day you're late, you might be paying interest to keep the operation running in the same direction. every day you have that money in the bank, you're earning interest on it and not paying interest for the operational costs. Loans are very expensive. Lines of credit are very expensive. So it is crucial, especially now, to have your account receivable collections process under control and running smoothly, and have information at your fingertips that enables you to manage this process in a positive way. Just a slide here to show you the interest rate increase. May have even changed by now, but this is the bottom line. The rates are going up, and this is crucial. This is crucial for you and your businesses to get on top of the receivables and get that money in faster. So how can you improve, even in a couple of weeks, the processes in the financial operations? Number one, and we're talking on the receivable side here. Identify your top 10 debtors. Who has the most outstanding debt? Make sure you understand who those people are, okay? Review your credit terms. Make sure you understand by customer what terms you're offering and see if you can improve that. Number one, can you take your good payers and give them more credit, allowing them to do more business with you? And can you tighten up on the poor payers to bring the cash in faster, or stop doing business with people who don't pay on time? You could offer early payment incentives, okay? You can reduce 1% to 2% for early payments, because that money in your bank means more to you than that amount. So you could start offering that to bring the cash in faster. And I'm not sure you can take it all down in 2 weeks, but you can automate all of this with a technology solution, with a software as a service solution. So let's talk about Kibiti. Let's talk about our company and how we help companies like yours do this. And it is through control and visibility. Next slide, please. So the first thing is have access to real-time KPIs. Having access to real-time KPIs is supremely important here, folks, okay? Because again, you don't want to be waiting to the end of the month to know what's going on with your receivables, or the end of the quarter, or just doing a look back. You want to know today what's happening today. So our system allows you to calculate and have, via a dashboard that you're seeing right here, the slide is our dashboard, showing your total AR, your DSO, your outstanding invoices, your aging buckets, gives you a very, very sharp bird's eye view of what's going on inside the company. Real time, up to date, today. And that payment forecasting that you see in the bottom right corner is, again, real time, the existing behavior of your existing customer base with you. So you can actually plan on what should be the cash flow going forward. Next slide, please. So we talked about the payment forecasting, behavior-driven forecasts. Okay, this is not guessing. This is not based on an outside service telling you what somebody's credit grade is. This is the actual behavior of the customers with you, not with anyone else, with you. So if a customer pays in 20 days, we will anticipate that the next time you bill them, they will pay in 20 days. If a customer's paying you in 60 days, we're going to anticipate that that customer, when billed again, will pay you in 60 days. And this way you can do real-time behavior-driven forecasts with your customers and you. Super, super important. Automation, using workflows. I cannot hide, nor would I want to, how important it is to automate the processes of collecting and how that can affect the collection. Sometimes people take a look and go, come on, how much could this really affect things by sending out email templates? It does. When you are on top of your customers and your customers know that you are on top of them, they pay better. We've seen it. We have the calculations, okay? We know that our customers get paid better once they start using just the basic aspects of the Gaviti workflow system, okay? So you create these workflows, you create these cadences of emails, internal reminders, etc., to manage your invoice collection process. It becomes more efficient and it becomes more effective. Next slide, please. Personalize your outreach. If I go out to my potential customers as a salesperson, if I talk to everybody the same way, it doesn't make sense. Because each person I talk to has different needs and deserves and needs to be approached in a different way. It's the same thing with your customers when it comes to collecting from them. You need to personalize that outreach. You don't want to be sending emails every couple of weeks to strategic clients because they're going to start to become disturbed by that and say, wait a second, why are you treating me this way? You need to have a separate workflow for your strategic clients than you do for your new clients, for your smaller clients, clients that have different payment terms. Whatever it is, your clients, for that experience, they want to be treated and managed the way they should be. And if you can personalize the outreach through workflows, that is the best way to do that. Because the language you use, the pace of the activity is all part of this. And it's super, super important. And again, this is why our customers see a positive impact by using the Gaviti system. Internal escalations. Again, I can't minimize at all, nor would I want to, how important it is to keep your internal team, and not just your finance team, informed and updated and escalated into the collection process. So a lot of times I'll talk to a prospect and they'll say, yeah, at a certain point, we'll call the salesperson, we'll ask them to help out, okay? Who follows up on that? How do you know when to do that? You can pre-program that into the Gaviti workflow. You can pre-program that email to that salesperson, whether they're sitting in the same office with you or whether they're sitting on the other side of the USA from you, to say, hey, can you give this person a call when they reach 60 days past due? You can notify managers and up the ladder that these customers have reached a dangerous spot. Again, this has proven time and time again to help our customers collect more efficiently and more effectively by having these internal escalations available to them. Prioritize high impact tasks. A lot of times I will talk to teams that are still using manual effort and They just, they're kind of running by the seat of their pants. The manager is saying, okay, you need to follow up on these people, and you need to follow up on these people, and you need to follow up on these people. There's no process in place. And even if there is a process in place, it's relying on human effort to remember all those things. So how are you going to remember that today I need to call Acme Manufacturing to collect on that bill? Our system allows you to set tasks for yourself or others inside the company to follow up on invoices or to help out on the follow-up on invoices. And it gives you a calendar where you're going to see those things and tasks popping up by day to go out and make those efforts. Super, super important. Monitoring team output. Again, very, very important. When you have a collections team, you don't want to just be assigning them and then at the end of the week or the following week at the team meeting saying, okay, how did that go? How did that go? How did that go? You want on a day-to-day basis understanding, are your collectors doing their job? Are they following the process? Are they on top of their client, their clients who they're collecting from? And only an automated system like Gavidi can allow you to monitor what's going on inside your team. As a manager, as a controller, as a CFO, as a VP finance, to see what the team is up to on a day-to-day basis. What efforts are being made to collect from this client who I just got notified through the Gavidi system is a bad payer. What are we doing about it? It's very, very, it's not good enough anymore to just have a team. It's important to monitor the team and monitor the work of the team, what's working and what's not working. And you can only do that through an automated system. Next slide, please. And communicate in context. When somebody promises to pay you, okay, when somebody says to you, and you can do this in the Gavidi system, they can either in an automated manner or through a conversation or an email say, hey, I'm paying that bill next week on Thursday. Okay, so now what happens? In the Gavidi system, I can put a reminder in to myself, to somebody else to say, hey, check, did we get that money? I don't want to call the client and say, did you pay? I should know if we got paid or not. I want to call the client only if they didn't pay. I want to email that client only if we didn't pay. So if they promised me today that they're going to pay that bill next Friday, I want to send a message to myself to check that that bill was paid by the following week. If not, that's when I want to take action. Not just wrote, hey, you said, checks in the mail thing. We don't want to be doing that anymore. Next, please. Unify your client and your invoice history. You want to understand, again, day to day, week to week, what's going on with your clients. What are they doing? Are they replying? Are they opening mails? Are we getting bounced messages? What's happening with each client? You can look by client and understand what's happening with their invoices. You can look by invoice and see what's happening with those invoices, as you see here in this screenshot. Because everything is related to the client and the invoice individually, and we're tracking that for you. Very, very important to have this information at your fingertips, and only going to get it from an automated system like it. Next, please. Again, we touched on it before, facilitate internal cross communication. How am I notifying my sales team that I need them to get involved? How am I notifying my service team not to service clients who aren't paying? How am I notifying my manager about a problem client? You have to be able to facilitate internal communications in an automated manner. You cannot rely on human effort. You cannot rely on somebody's memory to go and do that. You need to automate that process because that makes it the most efficient and that makes it the most effective. Understand client correspondence. Give your clients an easy way to communicate with you. We have a client portal where your clients, which we give our clients for their clients to easily pay and communicate with their collection team. This reduces friction. This makes it very, very easy. And the clients of our clients love this. They love to be able to pay easily. They love to be able to send a quick message inside the system that's going right to the collector about the payment that either was made or will be made. Reducing that friction improves your collection process, again, in positively impacting the bottom line. As I mentioned, self-service, you're empowering your clients, you're giving them the opportunity to pay, you're giving them the opportunity to request information, request a copy of the invoice, update you the payment was made, show you the bank message showing that it was paid, request invoice history without bothering your team. So it's a win-win. So that is the main part of my presentation. We'll leave it open now to some questions.
Yes, thank you, Bruce. Excellent information. So as Bruce mentioned, let's take audience questions, and just a quick reminder to use your GoToWebinar control panel to ask questions. So we have some questions coming in. Get a first one to you, Bruce. What is the value of using a platform like Gaviti if I already have automation through my ERP?
Great question. We get asked it all the time. The automation you have, or that most ERP systems offer, is basically email templates. And you can set some triggers, but it's simply email templates, and that's not a process. That's not what I just showed you. Okay, that is email templates. That's, you know, simplifying the email process. Yes, it's part of what we do, clearly, but you need a proper workflow. Okay, you need a proper workflow, and you need to be able to customize that workflow to the different types of customers that you have. I haven't really run into too many companies as we do our sales that don't have several types of customers. And you need to, and it improves your collection process when you can, as we had mentioned earlier, customize that outreach to your customers. Okay, and you can't do that very well in that system. Okay, and you don't get the same kind of information that we have in a full system, and providing the customer portal, the ease of payment, the ability to check on your KPIs, the ability to monitor your team's effort. That's not happening in a email template system through an ERP.
Okay, good. Here's got another one coming in. Our team struggles to get IT on board with implementing new systems. From your experience, how do teams usually navigate this?
Again, great question. Number one, you want to bring them you want to bring them into the purchasing process, okay? Early, not late, okay? Because sometimes the IT team's like, wait, whoa, hey, wait a second, you know, you're about to sign off on a PO? No, we're going to stop that. You bring them in early, you show them, at least from our standpoint, how easy it is to set up the data flow from the ERP, from the accounting system, from the CRM into Gaviti. It's quite easy. And we often have the IT team come to the presentation and say, well, why did you bring me? Like, this is like, you don't even need IT for this. But as long as you take that fear out of it, you're going to engage, and that is what I think the IT team is needed, to take the fear that this is going to be a workload on them, which it's not, or that there's going to be some kind of some hands in the ERP that don't belong there, or hands in the accounting system, or hands in the CRM that don't belong there. And just show them up front it's not going to happen. Show them up front how simple the process is, and then take away the fear.
Got it. Do you think IT tends to want to do a lot of analysis and maybe look at 10 different options and that kind of thing?
They sometimes do, and look, the business sometimes does. We don't have any control over that. I think that there is, analysis paralysis, as they say. Just seeing too much information, and it just, it kind of tends to confuse the matter. But at the end of the day, that's not something that we have control over. I recommend, certainly evaluating a few options, but not, overdoing it just slows everything down and doesn't really accomplish what the process was set up to do, which is, again, as we talked about here, positively affecting the bottom line by bringing in more cash earlier.
Right. Got another one. Many of our clients are based out of different regions and countries. Is there a way to tailor automation per country, per language, per region, not just based on risk score or strategic clients?
Sure, absolutely. Great question. And yes, the answer is yes. All of our workflows are customized to the time zone of the customers that are going through that workflow. So if you have customers in Asia Pacific region and you want their emails to hit them during their work hours, their work days, so you tailor the workflow exactly for that. You set the hours that the emails are delivered. You can also set the language. Our system, you can run the emails in the workflows in the language that you want to address. You have clients in France and you want to send them emails in French, you can do that. The whole system can be in several different languages, as a matter of fact.
Neat.
And multiple currencies.
Okay. Yeah, another question. Our team has reviewed numerous AR management softwares and found them all to be more or less the same. What makes Gaviti different from what I've already seen?
Yeah, it's a great question. I think there's a couple of things. Number one is that is our customer support, our ability to onboard clients quickly and easily. It tends to be a problem in this industry. Backlog of onboarding, delays, integrations, things like that. Custom integrations that are needed for non-brand name ERP or accounting systems. We don't have any of those issues because we deal just with the data flowing from the system into Gaviti. Doesn't matter what the system is, they can all export data into the formats that we need. That's number one. Number two, I think is that workforce management, the ability to see what your collectors on an individual or team basis are up to is very, very important. It's something that they can do through our system and that we don't see in all of the systems out there. That's just two. There are others, but
yeah,
gotta give us a call if you want to find out more.
Yeah, and I'm sure you have a free demo and that kind of thing.
Sure, absolutely.
So my experience with AR has been as executive director and CEO of mostly small orgs. So I would come in for large past dues and that kind of thing that would percolate up to the top, and I would get involved. And so I always thought, you get good reaction when you communicate with your customers. And I always think of that terminology, squeaky wheel gets the grease, right? So if you're communicating, you're going to get action. Whereas not to say some customers are being deceiving, but if you're not on top of it, they might take advantage of that a little bit and even pay you slower, right? So all of these systems that you can automate ensure that you keep your eye on that ball and speed up your receivables. So
Absolutely.
squeaky wheel gets the grease. That's what Gaviti does. Gets the grease. Okay. So with that, I would like to thank Bruce Zuban and excellent insights that you've provided today. And many thanks to Gaviti, our leader in AR automation. And I'd like to also thank our attendees, and great success to you in 2022 and the oncoming 2023. So thanks, and have a great day.